Desde Washington DC algo extraño pasaba. Algo ocultan decían entre corbatas y armas. En la noche unas luces pasaban mientras los radares callaban. Algo no cuadra en los cielos, algo se traen los hombres de negro. Algunos se quedan callados con miedo mientras otros se exponen al ruedo. Son las noches de las estrellas, son las noches de platillo, son las noches de las centellas, son las noches del sigilo. Científicos desaparecen entre las sombras, militares se van sin dejar huella. Algo raro sucede en la calle Pensilvania, algo no nos cuentan desde la sala. Son las noches de las estrellas, son las noches de platillo, son las noches de las centellas, son las noches del sigilo.
Let's get started. How have you been? Thanks for joining us. Well, it's the weekend. And strange things are happening in Washington. Strange things are happening with a former U.S. intelligence agent, among other things. Obviously, what's happening in Iran is quite significant, as right now there's a situation unfolding that, well, is drawing attention among these cases that have been making headlines. Over there in the United States and in Iran, with the Strait of Hormuz and this whole situation, it's clear that they are sending or placing mines. We saw it this morning. It's already more or less known what kind of mines they're placing in that area and how they're blocking that region. So let's get into the details of what's happening in that regard. We're going to be talking about that, about different topics. As you know, we try to discuss various news stories about what's happening in the world and international affairs. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, let's start with this message, this video that he himself released. Luis Elizondo, as he is known, and he makes a very interesting comment in an interview with him, Luis Elizondo. Well, he was also part of the government, part of the military, of military intelligence and all that over there in the United States, and now he reveals some very interesting details. Listen to what he says. Let's see if we can get the image, but this whole case is definitely drawing attention. I would like to... Let's put it over there. There it is. Let's listen to what it says. Let's listen.
You know, I'll tell you about the story of Amy Eskridge. I had the privilege of meeting her in Huntsville, Alabama. I think it was around 2018 or 2019. And she and her father apparently had been working on a project that involved anti-gravity. She gave a presentation on the subject to me and a few colleagues. I'm not an expert in anti-gravity, so I really don't know what to say about it. But whether it was legitimate or not, she did complain that she was on a quote-unquote target list. I don't know if it was the same target list that I and people like Dave Grush were on, or if it was someone, something, or someone else. But she did reveal it to us and said that she feared for her life. Now then, does that necessarily mean that something nefarious happened? No. Many of us have fears, and sometimes they're unfounded, sometimes they're very well founded. So I don't know. I think it's important, however, that we recognize that a lot of people are putting a lot on the line by having conversations like this. I'm pleased to see that Congress is getting more and more involved. People like Anna Paulina Luna and Representatives Burchett and Burleson continue to work very diligently behind the scenes on this issue, and that's why I applaud them. The American people greatly appreciate it. To the surprise of many, some of these people are now receiving information about some pretty interesting things. I think with Representative Luna, the fact that she requested those videos was brilliant. It was a stroke of genius. I think it was brilliant because those videos exist and now they're putting the people at the Pentagon on the spot. Unfortunately, there are a lot of excuses. There are still a lot of people trying to hide things and resist from within the Pentagon, the same ones who tried to erase me and pretend I didn't exist. They're still there. Don't ask me why or how. Frankly, if I were Secretary Hegseth, I'd fire them immediately. But that's not my job. I don't have any authority to do that, so that would be my recommendation. I think we now have this issue at the highest levels of our government. The fact that President Trump has openly and publicly said that he is going to declassify the files and get to the bottom of this, I think is an excellent gesture of good faith. Now, of course, it's easier said than done, right? Because the devil is in the details. You have to review a huge volume of information and analyze it for declassification and then publish it. And yes, we still have to protect sources and methods. Yes, there are still aspects of some of these reports that should remain classified. I know it's not a popular stance, but we don't want to reveal our capabilities to foreign adversaries, and that's the key point. There are many ways to do this. I think a review board is needed, maybe meeting every week in Washington, D.C., there at the National Archives to decide what should be released and how it should be released.
A lot of excuses. Let's get to the information, the details of what's happening out there in the world. Well, obviously I'm a bit emotional too because of what's happening. In the sense that this person, Luis Elizondo, not me, snap of the mic. So all of these people, whether they're journalists or in his case, former military, like Vidrios. Also, well, it shows that not only is there already an interest, but really they've spent years seeing surprising things from the inside, and they say these things have to be revealed. Now he acknowledges that there are things, just as Marco Rubio also said. And there are people who have been in politics, but who are open to disclosure, though only up to certain limits. You all, is that the reality? Well, there's this, what's his name? Our favorite astrophysicist here in the US?
Neil? No?
No.
No.
What is your service?
No, the price is good. Yes, of course. No.
No, even he himself said it. He said it. Most likely they won't be able to.
Get any information?
In detail. They're going to have to hide things. They're going to have to cut things. Because if not, basically you're telling them what observation capabilities you have. And that, well, obviously.
Some things couldn't be disclosed due to national security?
Obviously, I suppose that what it means is not so much me, but rather this. What it means is that what follows is going to focus on, well, the 60s, the 50s. We're going much further back, nothing very recent.
Well, that's what he assumes.
But obviously what Congresswoman Ana Luna is asking him for is not that. The Congresswoman is asking for recent videos that, in theory, don't cause any harm or create any problems. This is the declassification. That's what's being said now. We'll learn more later. But in the meantime, let's move on to other matters because there's a person, well, a former intelligence agent, in this case, the FBI's internal intelligence side, a former deputy director, by the way, here somewhere. Here we have him. There's a photo of him with Jose Macon. It seems that the role of the FBI that's shown, well, besides both of them are making faces, right? The guy is always making strange faces, and this one too. Not in this one, but he always makes weird faces. He's a very expressive character, And well, this is the former deputy director of the FBI. He's afraid that someone is going to go against him. In the case of this character, what is he referring to, or what is the issue that worries him? Why? Is it paranoia, or what's going on?
Well, this is his former deputy director of the FBI. He says there could be thugs after him since he resigned. He says that's what makes him fear for his life. Bonilla's appointment, which by the way was very controversial when they chose him because he's a rather strange character. Like almost everyone they always pick for Donald Trump's administration. This is someone they put in a position that's usually given to an agent. A veteran FBI agent usually holds that position, but they put a Republican there who had no previous experience in the FBI, which was heavily criticized. Afterwards, he resigns. And even though he resigns, Donald Trump still speaks well of his work. He was actually called a really strange choice for the position. He would really be the brains of the FBI, not so much Cash, but Cash would be more like, let's say, a spokesperson, even though he doesn't actually have that position. Obviously, the one really calling the shots would be this one.
I mean, right from the start, what isn't clarified or what isn't left by this one is information. What does he mean? I mean, everyone assumes that maybe there are some cases where he got involved when he shouldn't have, or things like that. But this person has already mentioned several times that there are or could be hitmen who might go after him. According to what he reports, and without giving much information, well, he claims they could go to his house and that. Well, right now he's a bit afraid that they might be looking for him.
Exactly, in part, and it's completely understandable. I think almost everyone who has done something wrong to you in this government is going to have this fear. It's that a future administration might go after them because, well, it's obvious that this could happen. This was already said by, what's his name? The one who was basically the driving force behind Donald Trump in the first campaign. I forgot his name.
Are you referring to the media guy?
Yes, that one.
Oh no, you're referring to the paranoid one. Yes.
El de Cambridge. El de Cambridge Analytics. Well, the one from Cambridge Analytics, if you remember that person, although he hardly talks to Trump anymore, still supports him tremendously. And he has said that if the Republicans win in the midterm elections, many of us are going to go to jail. Yes, he already included himself. And well, this is one of the people who is obviously can already see it coming. In the end, it's very obvious that things are not going well at all for the Republicans. And well, this Bonchano, who, by the way, as we mentioned at the beginning, was together with Kash Patel, well, many of his actions are said to have had certain irregularities. And Trump himself, well, even though he supported his departure and claimed he did a great job, Bonjano maintains that there is a pattern here of trying to rewrite history and that there may be attempts to tarnish his track record. Others,
let's say externally in his case, they claim that yes, in fact, there is internal crossfire. I don't know. Basically, there are groups within the FBI that are seeing how people have tried to rewrite the way they operate, even becoming like an agency used against political groups. Instead of simply investigating criminal cases, they have focused on attacking certain groups, even the FBI director, who, by the way, was persecuted. Well, surely we will see the same thing in the future, but these people, in fact, even now, there is already some paranoia on Kash Patel's part that has been reported in the American media.
Yes, The Atlantic even mentions that he has problems with alcohol, that he is super paranoid. And well, Kash Patel immediately sues them. He sues The Atlantic, which is already becoming a habit in this government where we constantly see them suing the media.
There's also conflict regarding Epstein, with the former Attorney General Pamboni, and also over the handling of the files. There are a lot of people upset because it wasn't made public, basically by the FBI and the Attorney General's office themselves. It seems that Epstein's network was protected instead of making it public, instead of providing the information properly. Well, they always said, here are the files, and they were blocked. Here are the ones that came. Let's be honest, they never really wanted to get to the bottom of it. In this case, it seems like they're afraid of something, obviously, and these are the highest figures in the justice system. We're talking about people who, in theory, should be very proactive and willing to investigate and get to the bottom of things, especially in a case that involves minors. And even so, apparently not, right? So obviously Congress itself will also have to do its own review and hold hearings against these people to make sure, first, that it doesn't happen again, and second, that the cases are followed up on and the entire network involved in this case is revealed.
Exactly. After all, when it's an international network, it doesn't just affect the United States, it affects the whole world, right? Basically, it was kind of a joke among some Republicans who are handling the case about King Charles coming, because they were given a list of things they can or can't do when interacting with the king. For example, they're not allowed to touch him, right? And a senator said basically what we're not allowed to do with him, his family has done with minors, making these really harsh criticisms about Prince Andrew.
Well, I mean, other important things happening in the world too. There is, well, right now there's already a report on what the mines they're using are like Maham 3 and Maham 7 mines. These are in the Strait of Hormuz, in the Strait. That's how people from Chihuahua would say it. Look, no, it didn't come out right. You can really pull off the Chihuahua thing, the Chihuahua accent. Something like that, something like that. Well, the thing is, there are two types of mines that are around right now. Well, not only distributing, but doing it on a massive scale. Today we saw a satellite image, several satellite images that we showed in the morning where the mines are distributed at different points. I can't imagine how oil prices will look next, well, tomorrow afternoon. And by this time, we will know how the markets are reacting to this situation. For weeks, there have been reports that hidden mines are being placed. But what happened today was a scandal because there were too many boats. It is known that at least a dozen mines of two different models have been placed in various locations. But what happened today? Well, things are getting out of control. It's no longer clear exactly how many mines there are. The characteristics of these mines. The Mahan 7 mine, for example, weighs 220 kilograms and is placed on the seabed. That one doesn't float. That one can be deployed by small boats or by helicopters, and it's designed to attack ships. It is used against smaller vessels like landing craft or patrol boats and is laid at depths from 3 to 90 meters, and several of these have already been deployed. Iran has also already offered these mines for export, meaning they are already selling them to countries that are interested. Let's say this would be one of the mines and this is the other one. They're not, it's these two mines according to what's reported, or well, the capacity these mines have, which might not be much. They're not very modern, but they claim to be quite efficient when it comes to destroying ships.
Exactly. And on their part, if you already mentioned this earlier, the United States Navy just signed an agreement with an AI company to train underwater drones so they can detect these mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Because, well, the estimate of how many there could be, and there could be more, is just an approximation of how many might be out there, which makes them a danger. Donald Trump himself said that even if there was only one, that's enough reason not to open the Strait of Hormuz. He suddenly forgets and contradicts himself, but the United States Navy just signed this agreement for $99.7 million with Domino Data Lab, a startup based in San Francisco that is developing this technology with artificial intelligence, which would allow minesweepers, which are the ones that remove the mines. They are underwater minesweepers that detect new and invisible mines in a matter of days instead of the months it currently takes. This information, this new technology is intended to be used in the Strait of Hormuz, something that would change things a lot. This would open up markets more quickly, and this software will use various sets of sensors like side scan sonar and visual imaging systems. It also monitors several AI detection models that operate on the ground, and this allows operators to identify it faster without errors and to apply corrections in real time.
That's the point, right? That's part of what's happening. Let's move on to other important matters. And well, that's all for today. In the next one, Iran, we have, or the Middle East, right? In general, Iran would have executed two or goodbye, see you later, see you later. See you later, see you later. See you later. See you later. In the midst of this tightening of judicial measures in which every day, see you later, see you later. A message saying how things are going to get tougher and that this is what the people want, that the people want tougher measures against the traitors, so to speak. Well, one is named Yaqub Karimipur and the other Yasser Bakarazet. They were reportedly eliminated on charges of cooperating with intelligence and espionage in favor of the Israeli regime. That's how they put it, along with some harsher words in official language. See you later. The Misan agency from the Iranian judiciary, well, it's obviously terrible. And right there, but towards the Middle East and this whole area, but to the south, towards Yemen, things are also happening.
Exactly. Today, Yemen reported the hijacking of an oil tanker off the southern coast. This would be in Somali waters. I know you remember that this area before the Yemenis, before they attacked the ships from Yemen, were there already Somali pirates? In fact, there's already a movie about this topic starring Tom Hanks. So apparently, this incident happened today where they took this oil tanker. In the end, right now, there's chaos in the region, and it can be used, well, for others, for the benefit of others.
Exactly. I was asking if the United States Navy ships were withdrawing. Is the US Gerald Ford withdrawing? Confirmed. But remember, another aircraft carrier arrived and another aircraft carrier left, so there are still two aircraft carriers. That was a possibility, not that they wanted three aircraft carriers, but they simply wanted to keep two aircraft carriers. For them, it's the Gerald Ford. It hasn't stopped. Desde hace casi 300 días. So, well, they were already tired. In fact, they broke the record for one of the longest missions they've had in different parts of the world. The soldiers haven't seen their families in a long time. So that ship, that aircraft carrier, withdrew more or less. Right now, how many ships are there? Do you remember? I mentioned it today, ships.
I don't remember.
They didn't know, maybe 70 or 80. There are a lot of ships, including aircraft carriers and their escorts. Right now, it's full between the Mediterranean, the Arabian Sea, and the Gulf of Oman. The withdrawal was just one aircraft carrier and some ships that go around it. All the others are still there, so it's really full of ships and it's also full of planes, at least for now. No, up until now, this is the only withdrawal that has happened. And by the way, I'm just clarifying that point. This aircraft carrier was in the Mediterranean. It wasn't here. The Gerald Ford was in this area. In fact, it had gone to Greece and then returned, and now it's heading back. It's on its way to the United States. I don't know exactly where it is right now, but it's heading in that direction.
For major maintenance, exactly.
And so the soldiers can rest. The Abraham Lincoln is on this side, and the George W. Bush is also on this side. And each of the aircraft carriers is, well, full of vessels, destroyers, and so on, right? And besides the tens of thousands of soldiers who live and work and are here at the United States bases in the Middle East. Still. Well, it seems like things are far from calming down, at least from what we can see, right? But obviously, every time something is pulled back or moved back, it comes out in some media because someone is watching, right? And they say, is the United States pulling out already? Well, at least here, I've seen several people who do that, and you think, well, that's not really the case, right? It's not like that. But anyway, let's move on to other interesting topics. Big greetings to Dals, to our group, to Martin, to the whole community, to Carlos Martinez, just like you gave Martinez Gutierrez. Also, Martin Gutierrez, a huge greeting. Let's move on then to other matters, also important ones. Look, a group of scientists already seems to be working on time travel in some way, right? They claim that there is a group of scientists who have discovered a way to send messages to the past. And this, well, it gets interesting, at least for now. We still can't do the classic time travel like in Back to the Future.
And just imagine scientists, would they already be traveling in the...
Just like and this one? Well, the point is that it's always been said that it would be much easier in practical terms to travel to the past than to the future. Don't ask me why, because honestly I don't remember, but let's just say that's been around for a while. But now quantum physics is trying to break the limits of what's possible. In a new study that proposes sending information to the past, which would be viable using entangled particles and time loops. According to what they say, this group of scientists presented a proposal that they claim would be revolutionary, sending messages to the past using real principles of quantum physics. Something that until now seemed like it was only in movies, science fiction magazines, or books. The work has already been accepted by Physical Review Letters, a well-known scientific journal. And it's in this publication. Those who know say that this is one of the most respected journals in the field of quantum physics. The theoretical basis lies in what they call closed time-like curves, or CTCs, which are trajectories in space-time. They would allow you to go to the future and return to the past within the same loop. That's how they explain it. Exactly. According to general relativity, these curves, he says, are mathematically possible. To create them is difficult right now, he says. On a human scale, it would still require a huge amount of energy, something that is still beyond our reach. Our limitation isn't whether it's possible, mathematically it is.
Que no tenemos las herramientas.
The key is energy, he says. Basically, it would require almost infinite energy from those of Meter. It's an extremely powerful region. Scientists suggest that this entanglement could work as a channel where certain information travels back in time. It's not that it could be given to people. You could send a living being, but you couldn't send an organic being. The model would be reminiscent of the movie Interstellar with characters like, I think it was Matthew McConaughey, right? Yes, he sent information to his daughter by manipulating a watch, right? Yes. Well, I was awake.
I was awake, yes.
I was awake. Investigator Kyung-Wan Ji from Cornell University says he explains that the key lies in the receiver's memory. If you've already seen how a message is deciphered in the past, you can optimize how to send it in the future. This creates what would be called a causal loop, but it requires, he says, too much energy to be able to do something like that. The physicist himself, physicist Seth Lloyd from the Massachusetts Institute, says there are already experiments that simulate microscopic versions of these time loops. They've done it on a micro scale, or at least in simulation. He says the big surprise, he says researchers claim that the message sent back in time could even be clearer than one sent in the conventional way because the sender could adjust the code knowing how it will be interpreted. In other words, they're going to adjust it to the conditions the message would need. Now, let's suppose they're going to do it. I mean, the scientists, right? Let's suppose they're going to make a message. Who are they going to give it to? Because it would have to be to someone, to me. Someone who understands the language of science. I mean, someone who says, like, a scientist says, wow, this message has to be from the future, no doubt, and it's not a joke, right? I mean,
What's typical is that it's a joke.
exactly. The point is, I mean, first, I'd say you'd have to mention 2 or 3 very specific things about the future, about what's going to happen, right?
You'd need to say exactly what will happen to them. Of course,
No.
as close and precise as possible. Yes, because if not, then no.
Exactly. And so he can verify that information. I mean, you would have to use very, very concrete data that he can't influence, right? In that case, well, I don't know. I mean, what message do you send him? I mean, there's an experiment that this, what's his name? Anthony Hopkins, right? He does an experiment. Anthony Hopkins. No.
Uh,
The actor? No. Do you already know who?
no.
No, man.
Who?
Hawkins.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Yeah, him. He does a really crazy experiment because he throws a party. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
I mean, he throws a party at the university where he was. He throws a party.
Oh, because he really liked the party and the way people saw him, he was wild.
But for the party, the invitation is sent a day later. I mean, or the party, he does the whole gathering and then the party happens. The party, right? The party happens alone. Obviously, nobody goes, right? Of course. And then the next day, the invitation is sent and they say, hey, there was a party the day before if you can make it. I mean, exactly. And the message said, if anyone is from the future.
Right? The party happens.
The party happens there. The party.
The day of the party.
There's food. There's, well, at least he said no, that no one had arrived yet. Okay. But maybe at that moment someone arrived. I mean, when he tells the story, no one had arrived yet, right? I mean, but what if now? Yes. I mean, if the trip is made now, we're in this present 2026. Let's suppose that until, let's say 2000 or even 1998, I don't know. He didn't know if there would be anyone at the party. He didn't know at that moment, but at some point it's going to happen. Well, I don't know. I mean, at some point, I guess if those trips exist, maybe someone could go to the party. That would be something they could do.
There's a party. Don't invite them. Are you telling them why? She has to. And I invited you to my party?
I invited you to my party, but I sent you the message later to see if you could make it. I don't know if I made it.
If I started looking at the Polymark results, I think we're all thinking the same thing. The Polymark notification went off for me. I bet, he says, a team will win the world and the World Cup will go to an African team. It would have to be something truly unusual. Because if you say something like Italy is going to win, well, the possibility of Italy winning is very high.
Is it canceled because they're not going to the World Cup?
No, but I mean, if we went to the past,
They didn't go to the last World Cup either,
no, I don't know which one.
nor to the one before that either.
Don't expect precise soccer facts.
Tres mundiales que
Sí, no, pues no. But well, if you say Argentina is going to win or Italy is going to win, it's very likely to happen. But predicting something really strange that's happened in history, right?
Yeah. No, well, look, someone is going to climb onto a roof. Someone is going to climb onto a roof. Me.
I'll message myself to avoid that and keep my life on track. Don't let your wife hear it.
Who are you talking to right now?
And with what? Come on, I'm going to give you your message from the past.
There I had a message from the future. Well, let's move on to other important matters, and just as it is. Ricardo Novak's dad. Hi there, Christy Kranz, Nostra Bola. The community from the far right says, Nostra Bola, Pepe, that machine, like how to build a cell phone, or when you send that message it arrives at that cell phone. You can't send it further back into the past, since that cell phone doesn't exist. Of course, says Mars.
Says Nostra Bola.
Sorry, says Nostra Bola. Just imagine Nostra Bola.
I had a Nokia. I think if I send the message, Fuercita will get it because that never fails. And I can still get that model.
But let's see. The message arrives and it says, Hello, Astrid. This is Astrid. Thanks in advance. Hello, I'm Astrid.
Someday I'll need to tell myself something only I know.
With that,
it's more than enough.
I'm going to tell you. And even so, do you think you'd believe yourself?
Of course, how could I not believe myself?
I don't know. But it would have to be something really, really crazy, right? For it to be...
Something that only I know?
Something that only you know, yes.
Yes, that I know about myself?
Yes. Something, I don't know, something from childhood, something like that. Very clear.
Of course.
Yeah, something really, really crazy. That not even your mom or anyone else knows. Exactly. It could be, right? It could be, but if I sent myself a message, I wouldn't send it. As a kid, I don't think I would. I wouldn't,
As a kid, you don't have a cell phone, man.
I do. I have a cell phone.
Yeah, you have a cell phone, so you've already begun.
To have one as a kid.
Is it true?
What a liar he is. Imagine if he talks. I had a little bit here.
Yes, but it doesn't have to be a cell phone.
Imagine it comes in a bit. Here's better, right? Like it comes through the radio and you hear it like this. And you hear like, hey, it's me.
You would recognize them all.
That's the thing. I think it could be, right? Well, but let's move on to other matters. I also want to remember a message I got. I think I remember it said it was me. Imagine what you start to remember. Like, yes, I got a message about moving on to other matters. Let's go to a really strange case and, well, we'll keep talking. Let's go. Let's go to one of those strange cases, right? The kind that suddenly catch your attention. This time, it's a case that has to do with, well, with a thief, right? Basically, and according to what's being reported, this was covered by English media, right? Where a person, this serial thief, received £500,000 because he was stabbed in prison. Yes, he looks at the prison and says, what about existence? Gmail has it particularly. Well, of course. And he wins and he gets the money. According to reports, Steve Wilson, in the end, if you're in prison, it's probably because you did something, right? To begin with, isn't it? So it turns out that while he's in prison, this individual becomes a millionaire. He's in prison for stealing, and it turns out he's a millionaire because he sues the government because they stabbed him. What a genius move. A genius, right? But he says he's sad because of so much excess from basically all that money, the fortune and all that. This is useless to him because it's like a curse. Jeez, man, the main character of this story is named Steve Wilson, a repeat offender with 30 convictions. Besides Noel.
He's still in jail.
This guy didn't. He received a historic compensation of £5.4 million. You can check how much that is in dollars because that's a lot of money. It all started in 2018 when he was attacked by another inmate inside a British prison. Yeah, this guy had a 9-inch knife, just imagine, and he got stabbed 16 times.
A lot of knives, inches long.
Tremendous. Yeah.
It would be 7 million.
7 million.
$345,349.
That's what he gets in prison for what he did. And well, obviously it went very badly for him. I mean, he suffered liver damage, a spinal fracture, and a spinal cord injury. I mean, basically he's going to have permanent consequences for the rest of his life. He has reduced mobility. That's how it went for him. It was tough. That's how it was.
The C's.
Yeah. I mean, he deserves the money.
What kind of jail is this where the stars are?
I know, right? The English jail, right? You expect there to be a certain level of quality. I mean, well, the British government admitted responsibility and a court awarded him the multi-million-dollar amount, which sparked huge controversy among taxpayers. In the end, he got those millions of dollars, well, $7 million from the taxpayers. Instead of rebuilding his life or saying he couldn't start over, he just took it easy and didn't save, claiming he'd always have ailments, but we know that's not what happened. Far from building something, as soon as he got out of jail, he started falling into a spiral of drug use. You can imagine what kinds, all kinds, the least of it was alcohol, right? But from there on, it just got worse, right? Just imagine everything, right? Luxury parties for almost 2 years, paid for with English taxpayers' money. According to his family, after 2 years, he had already spent half of the fortune on drugs, 5-star hotels, luxury cars, and gifts for acquaintances. Quite generous, wasn't he? His own brother revealed that Wilson became a target for criminal gangs and old opportunistic friends who wanted to take advantage of his money, right? They even reported that he had been kidnapped. He said they've done everything to him because they want to take his money, right? Basically, after those 2 crazy years, he says that all of this has been a curse. And he says that basically money doesn't buy happiness, basically, right? This post. You say it depends on how you use it, really. It's not good. I mean, if you're going to go all crazy like that.
Sure, you'll end up in a bad place, but it's frustrating that those who don't deserve it are the ones making millions.
That's the classic one, that it's good.
That's not the lottery, right? No.
This is a lawsuit, right? But well, it's a case, honestly, a strange one. Not strange in the sense of mysterious, but strange in the sense of human nature. Sometimes humans are very strange, very weird.
Exactly. And well, right now the family, the family, yes, despite all this, they care about him and they're trying to help him. They got him to start a business, a car wash and detailing business.
Paid money? Oh, yes.
Bad times?
Family.
A quieter business, although it could be because car washing and detailing are very related, but that car washing and detailing business gives him some sense of purpose because yes, I mean the human being, no matter how much of a millionaire you are, the typical babies, if you don't have a purpose, it's very easy for you to get lost.
Yes. Well, as you can see, hey, where does it come from? Let me check. Where does it come from? Yeah, or you know it, right? The term, or someone here knows it, the term Nepo baby, from nepotism, right?
Nepotism, yes?
The Nepo baby. Baby as in the child of, right? I mean, like, yes, the baby I know, but it's the child of the politician, I don't know, whatever.
Many times those people, not all of them, obviously we're not going to generalize, but let's say many people who have parents who are very well off, it's like they don't get to where they are because of maturity, right? Okay, so, well, that's how that term was created.
And that term is only used here in Mexico?
It's used in the United States.
In the United States too?
Yes, in the United States. That's where it started. Obviously, it's been copied.
Well, maybe the most famous Nepo babies, the most, I mean, because it's not just that you're a celebrity's child, but that you're the untalented child of a celebrity. And yet you're still famous. I mean, you still get work. Because, I mean, there have been plenty, right, whose parents are famous and the kids are also really talented on their own.
There are a lot like that.
Yes, there are.
Right? Like Drew Barrymore, she's 3rd generation Nepo. I mean,
she's not a Nepo baby.
So, yes, she is Nepo. Well, she's a Nepo baby because, well, she comes from a generation, but she's not. But she's good. She's a good actress, right? No, amazing. She's incredible, but she's good. No, but she's good. She's passable. Her dad and grandfather are both Barrymores. 3 generations of great actors. I can't recall his name, and I bet you haven't seen any of his movies.
Totally. I bet I have.
Barrymore. No, because they're really old.
So they weren't that famous back then?
Super famous. No, super famous.
So famous that you don't even know their name.
John Drew Barrymore, that's his name. No, you don't know who he is. Because they're really old movies.
It's the dad or it's the grandma?
He's the dad and the grandpa, also super famous. Let me tell you who the dad is. It's John Barrymore, who is also an amazing actor. Yes,
It's like they're so far apart in generations that maybe that's why, I don't know. But for example, Will Smith's son, I mean,
Smith, Jaden Smith.
like talent, like amazing talent. Well, no, honestly, no. Well, I don't see it. His name is Jaden.
Jaden Smith. Yes, there are several.
John Lennon's son. What do you think? I don't know. I've kept track of him.
Neither of them. Neither of them. I haven't kept track of either of them.
He has 2 children. Yes. Okay, but both of them are singers. Yes, both of them. Look at me. Who else? Let me think. Someone I can think of who actually is. Well, Tom Hanks's son is talented.
Tom Hanks's son is very talented.
Talented and
His son and his daughter are very talented. His daughter is a writer. Well, the one from the first marriage and the son who is also from the first marriage, well, he's also a very cool actor.
And if one brother is super talented and the other brother is famous because of his brother, no, he's not a Nepo baby. No, Nepo baby. He's Nepo, yes.
Nepo bro?
Nepo bro.
Nepo bro?
Let's look at a term, Nepo bro. So, or the other way around. I mean, it also happens that the son is super famous and now they're Nepo dads. Of course. Yes. I mean, yes, it exists.
Parents of super famous people, but they're just regular scientists. Yes, but he isn't a Nepo baby since he's talented, works in a different field, and it's unrelated to science. It's strange, isn't it? It's strange to think of someone, I mean, having parents who are so good at something so difficult, and then you go into acting like that's a completely different direction.
I mean, there are quite a few of them. If the dad of, I don't know, this guy, what's his name? It's law for me, or,
You say opportunistic parents?
yes, opportunistic parents.
Yes, like Britney Spears' parents, there are many like them.
There are many. Yes, but they'd be Nepo parents. Another term, I just invented 2 trademark terms. Let's address other important matters too. Oh yeah. Hey, so do you have something?
Yes, Donald Trump just said he got a new agreement this morning, but there was already talk of one. Is it about Iran? About Iran, yes, a new proposed agreement on the Iran issue, about a peace agreement, right? But now he's apparently receiving another one. He said he is currently receiving a new proposal from Iran to end the war, but doubts it will be acceptable. It's a 14-point document that includes demands such as the lifting of sanctions and the withdrawal of US forces, which, well, I don't see as possible. And well, today, just a few minutes ago, in fact, he commented on Truth Social. He said he will soon review the plan that Iran just sent us, but he couldn't imagine it being acceptable. Since they still haven't paid a high enough price for what they've done to humanity and the world over the last 47 years, thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. It's funny because he always signs off like a letter, even though everyone knows it's his account and social network, but that's okay. These are the 14 points. Well, the 14 points are still the same. The issue is that they want the United States to withdraw all its bases from the Gulf, that they want to be left alone. How do you say they want all sanctions lifted? That could be a problem. Well, the issue of Israel and Lebanon, the end of fighting across the entire front, I mean, including Hezbollah, which is something I don't see Israel accepting, and even less so the United States.
Even less, of course. Now, are they making things up? I mean, within all of this, there's a kind of narrative where every day they come out to say that everything is going to be fine and everything is going to be bad. And again, every day, everything is going to be fine and everything is going to be bad. I mean, like, enough already, people. I mean, everyone is already like, please either start fighting or make peace, but do something, because I don't know, it's like they're always taking it to the extreme. And on top of that, it's exaggerated. Yesterday, Trump promised peace, but just hours earlier, he said something different. That if they didn't work things out, he was going to destroy them, right? I mean, that was his comment on the same day. And again, there's no proposal. But anyway, this situation is really, really intense. Dieguito says it's also because he's single and a Nepo baby.
How would that be?
How would that be? I mean, you could also have a Nepo boyfriend or a Nepo girlfriend.
Well, that's true. Yes.
Well, then post.
then pose. That would be, for example, here, Marianita, Mariana, and Samuel. Yes, of course, of course.
Of course.
Of course, yes, of course.
They get you in there. Yes, 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 of course, of course, of course. It's Nepo, but single Nepo. What could that be?
No, well, that term is kind of weird. Let him explain it. Let him elaborate.
Let's see. Dieguito, elaborate on it, please. That topic is interesting. You just invented a term, but we need to see if it works or not. We should do a simulation, right? This one here says Russia would be eager to recover what it had before the collapse of the USSR. That's the approach brought by Admiral Dragon, who has an impressive name, right? Imagine being called Dragonis, right?
It's really cool.
Giuseppe David, no, Giuseppe Capodragone. It's a pretty Game of Thrones style name and pretty intense. And that man here, the Admiral, says that the war in Iran is causing another conflict, a separate conflict. I thought it was more narrative and more like between them, like, well, just to state positions and not get involved. The war, no, this is really already reaching a point where they want or are seriously considering an uprising in the United States. Already today, this is the Polish Prime Minister's remarks.
Donald Tusk.
What did he say, if you remember?
Today, Donald Tusk is concerned about the fact that the alliance is falling apart, right? With the withdrawal of the United States from Germany, well, today, by the way, yesterday we mentioned that it was 5,000 soldiers who would be leaving Germany, but today he says no, that it could be many more. Some remember that they have 35,000 in Germany. So if he plans to withdraw all of them, I don't know, because he didn't make the number very clear, as usual. He always leaves things a bit vague. He was vague, but plans to withdraw much more than 5,000.
Well, but I thought you were going to mention something else that this gentleman also said. I mean, basically he says, stop this catastrophe. Like, stop what's happening with NATO, because this is getting out of control.
Or they're fighting.
I mean, they're fighting, or just stop this show, this whole thing, because it's getting crazy. And then this article comes out where they say in an interview, Admiral Giuseppe Capodragone, a high-ranking military officer of the NATO alliance, says that this reduction in the participation of the United States in the alliance, this withdrawal of 5,000 soldiers from Germany, which mind you has many more, but still this withdrawal is already quite significant. He says that, well, it is an issue that destabilizes NATO.
Exactly. But when they ask him if he thinks the United States will completely withdraw from NATO, he says no. He doesn't think this will happen on a large scale. But he does think that Europe needs to take more initiative, which is good. We've already talked about this here for more than 4 years. And that it's starting to do so by making a commitment to begin with by investing in military matters. We're already seeing positive movement among the population. People recognize the need to step up. That's the reality. That the possibility of a war happening here at any moment is very, very, very close. And we can't just say, oh, I don't want war because I don't believe in war. Yes, but if you want to stay in your country, you have to defend it, right?
And we've already seen the result with the French youth, right? It's like they're more aware of that issue, and there were more people than expected responding to the call-up they made.
And in Germany too, and in the United Kingdom, I think there are also many young people joining the military. And well, he believes that Europe needs to address its capabilities to be ready. Their capabilities in terms of, it can't be depending on funding, it can't be depending on defense from other countries, for example, the United States. And while we started to see that, for example, Ukraine went from being dependent on weapons from all over the world, yes, it became a supplier, an interesting turnaround from 4 years ago, even as they remain at war.
Exactly. Well, that's how things stand with this topic. Let's move on to other topics, to other matters. There are several images to share that are still pending, right? So let's take a look at them. Check out this image. Let me see if I can put it up here. This is part of the Mayan volcano.
Impressive. The craziest thing that amazed me was seeing the people waiting for the bus. The bride shouldn't be like that. What?
Look, there go those newlyweds. And where are they going? Oh, like that. Wait, the volcano is over there. It's this way. It's back that way, buddy. I mean, no, they're going straight to the volcano.
They visit the store any day?
Just like for Filipinos and those living near volcanoes. It's like when you see the huge eruption that happens all the time at Sakurayama, and all the tourists are super excited taking pictures, while the Japanese just walk by without even looking at the volcano. They say, no, well, that's just how it is. But anyway, there it is, like nothing happened. That was the most. That was the most. The other images were also interesting. This is obviously a parody image with her and four.
The best part is,
Check that out. Yes, yes, no, this is the paper. Here,
look,
this is the moment when Trump says the following.
I'm here to do a job. As part of the job, it is dangerous. I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous.
So
is
they went too far with this guy.
honestly, this has to be comedy. I mean, just with his face, it's already funny.
I'd pay for it too.
I mean, just let this guy who is a bit crazy have a chance, and I think it's going to be really funny.
Give me some copies of this already. Hey, well, what's going on here?
Well, here we're seeing a strike that workers were doing in Egypt. Yes, the ones who are in Iraq. This is a strike to demand better working conditions, and, well, their supervisors, the Iraqi supervisors, have been mistreating them during this strike.
Well, that's part of what happens over there in that part of the world. Here's another image as well. We have some images of robots there.
Yes, we have the one that's skating.
Yes, the one skating, but it's not a police robot, just works with an officer. I'm not sure if it'll become a police robot, but it's something like that, not humanoid. Yes, it's happening more often.
And it walks really well, because even the ones we've seen running still look kind of funny, but this one walks really, really well.
Yes, this one walks really well. In fact, I don't even know which one is the robot, the one in front or the one in the back.
I'm not sure. RoboCop keeps getting closer.
Robocop, exactly. Well, this is in Shenzhen, over there in China. Also, another image that catches your attention is this one, the famous joke about how many of these.
How many?
Here in Mexico, the joke is, how many Galicians does it take to screw in a light bulb? It's about Galicians. Well, I think over there in Spain, it's the people from Lepe, and it's like that in different places. But here they say, how many Ukrainians would it take to screw in a light bulb? And well, the answer is 0, because, you know, Ukrainians right now are really going all out with everything with those drones, right? Basically, it's like instead of a table, they have drones. That's how they put the food there. They eat there and everything, right?
No, it's crazy. I think this must be part of some tests they're doing. I think so. Let's see how it goes. And well, because it's very precise.
Very precise, very precise. Also, another image of robots. This is also the Unitree, the one from China, but now it's skating. I mean, we've seen that one dance.
No, this isn't the Unitree.
Yeah, no, Unitree. Yes, that's the Unitree. Yeah. Plus, it's just that.
G1, this model, G1, yes.
Yeah, his face is very recognizable.
Yes, Unitree is the company.
Yes, it's a Unitree robot. And well, right now they're showing it skating.
I mean, and it's not enough for them to be invading the...
They dance, they jump, they run.
It really made me laugh, the one who was running and suddenly started acting like Raymar or got distracted, and that robot has attention deficit. I mean, he was running. Yeah, I forgot that.
He likes to say goodbye. He doesn't like to say goodbye. Exactly. Also, well, it's mostly there because of that image. Let's see what's going on there.
We're looking at Timmy. Timmy is a whale that got stuck in the Baltic Sea in shallow waters. And well, they did this, and even though it's like a boat with a little bit of water, I don't know what this type of boat is called, but it took Timmy out of those waters where he was stranded. It's a process that took them, I think it was about a week and a bit more to do all of this.
Well, so there you have this pool boat, so to speak. I mean, it's a boat that has like a pool, so to speak, in the middle, and that's where they're carrying it. I mean,
But they're carrying it on boats. They've already taken it to deep waters.
The pool boat is the most accurate.
Yes, but it's a boat with a pool.
Yes, let's go.
I don't know what the use is. There must be some use for those specific boats.
You go there and you swim.
I don't know if it's for fishing or for some other use.
I guess if it's there, it's really interesting. Honestly, it's something I hadn't seen before.
No, it's great that they saved it because, well, we always see how many get stranded and it's really complicated. Yes?
There it is, right? What kind of thing is this?
It's one of the big ones. Let me check. From here, I can't see the name. It's not listed. No, I don't remember if the name was Timmy, but that name did stick with me because he obviously became known and everything for the time he was there. And how important the news was that they could, well, move it, right?
Yes, Yes, of course. Do you also remember a few days ago when they gave him, or he set a record? He's Kenyan, right? He's Kenyan, right? Yes, actually, look, there he is. There he is at a Kenyan government office. It says President William Ruto welcomes Sebastian Zahue at the State House. I mean, I imagine it's like the White House, but in Kenya, right? They welcome him with those traditional dances from there. This is in Nairobi. After his record-breaking performance, he wore some really crazy sneakers. They're disposable sneakers.
Who wore those sneakers?
They're disposable sneakers designed for just one marathon use.
And that's it.
And that's it. They're no longer useful. I mean, they're ultra light and ultra resistant sneakers. But so you can have a better stride. And I mean, it's a really crazy thing they came up with. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Nike. And if not, let me know which brand it was. Well, it should be there, right? It should. It's Adidas, right? It's Adidas. The shirt is Adidas. I'm not sure about the sneakers, but I guess they're Adidas too. So probably Adidas everywhere, right?
Well, they have to be your sponsors. You can't have one and then another.
Well, yeah, maybe, well, who knows? But the point is that this man has been received basically like a king because breaking the record, a marathon in under 2 hours. Yes,
Adidas, these are the ones. Adidas.
right? Yes, that's it, Adidas. They're kind of ugly too.
Honestly, yes, they're horrible, but
Well, they're specifically for that.
I do see that there's a lot of controversy about this type of sneakers because they have the carbon fiber plate. Yes, yes, no, no.
No, they're sneakers.
It's questionable.
They're very light, ultra light. I mean, they have to have the plate.
The plate gives you a boost.
Well, if it gives you a boost, then yes, it could be because there are several sneakers that are banned. I mean, for a sneaker to be allowed in these competitions, they go through a series of tests to make sure there's no cheating. They've already banned several sneakers, right? Yes, that's right.
Here, skeptics actually call it a performance-enhancing device.
Yes, it could be. I say it wasn't believable. I mean, for me, it's not believable that they made it. It's just too much. I mean, it's a really big leap.
They're called Adizero Adipro Evo 3 in case you want to buy them to get there a minute faster. Well, there you go.
A minute faster. Let's check the comments. Hey, let's go. Well, let's go quickly to the comments. How have you been? How's it going? Nova says, all sneakers are disposable. Even if you keep them for a few years, they go bad, says Nova. Well,
Yeah, Beto Barba says it's a huge pool. You see, it's a huge pool.
huge pool. Yes. Here it's for one-time use only.
Yes, single use.
Single use.
Well, just 42 kilometers in the Abasor. Greetings to Santos, Costa Santos, also to OP Mendez, to Mariano Cejas, a whaling ship, as they say, and our grandmother says that barge was used to take sand from the bottom of the sea. Come on. Thank you so much for enlightening us in our ignorance about this topic of ships. Because yes, I am curious about what it's used for. It's a humpback whale, by the way, and they left it in front of Denmark. They said, is that your problem?
There it is. Now we're good.
It says there, no, it's timed. Here comes the robot that goes from solid to liquid and back to solid, getting closer and closer to the Terminator. The what's it called? T1, is that what it's called? T12, I don't remember, but the Terminator guy is really impressed.
Mercury.
Right? Yeah, super cool. Yeah, really crazy. Yeah, greetings to Warner, Loria, greetings. Waking up to a beautiful Sunday here in Valencia, Spain. Greetings, Warner.
Hi, Warner. How have you been?
Cebola says, I'm terrified of robots. It makes me laugh so much. Really, Cebola?
It depends on the robot.
Yeah, there's a video of a guy who bought 2 Unitrip. And then one is at home doing something and the new one comes in and they start fighting and he has to separate them. He gets in between the two, like, calm down, I don't know what. And because they want to fight, it's funny. A punch. Greetings to Antonio Mata. We've got greetings from Waxahachie. Greetings, Pepe and family. Greetings, Antonio. Greetings.
Greetings. How have you been? Hello there.
Italo says, Pepe in Peru, one of the candidates for the second round, said that if he was elected, he would invade Chile. Oh, that's crazy.
No, that's just crazy. Obviously, no. I mean, hopefully he didn't have time to start, because if he's saying that now, what other crazy things will he want to do?
He says no, and actually we have talked about this topic, but it would be good to give it an update. Yes, because we've talked about that one and the one in Russia too, in Siberia, where there's something similar. And I suggest that they investigate the case of the concrete dome in the Bikini Atoll, which is cracked, and there's no budget to repair it. And it's urgent, but they're not paying attention to it. The same thing is happening in Russia, in Siberia. They have the same problem. And on top of that, it's already flooding, and that's making things even worse, right? Because the conditions are really bad? Yes. It shouldn't be flooding there, but with climate change, well, now there are more and more floods. Greetings to Antonio, and also to Beto Barba says, I recommend watching the movie Frequency or Frecuencia starring Dennis Quaid and Jimmy Caviezel. It's about messages through time. Yes, I think I've seen it, or at least heard about it, where they communicate by radio.
Do you remember? Yes, I do.
I don't remember if we saw it or not.
No, we've only seen the trailer as far as I remember.
Okay, and Nova says it, and radioactive waste is even leaking into the sea now. If we do nothing, the problem will be worse than Chernobyl. Regards.
Imagine that, regards. I already have it written down here. Thank you.
Okay, Martin Pepe, I'm going to say how much difference there is between UFO materials. I would be concerned about interviews and communication, about the internet changing. There are many changes, they explain. Let's see, I didn't understand, Martin. So much, how much difference is there in UFO materials? I would be concerned about interviews or communications that change the internet. There are many that I didn't understand.
Greetings, Antonio. Greetings. How have you been?
Maria says,
Beto Barba says hi from Waxaxi. I was telling you to watch the movie Freck. Ah, yes. Okay, it's already noted. Awesome.
Maria says, the robots, they're going to send them for landing operations to take territory like drones and with their own AIs. Well, I don't know how much of that is happening in landing operations right now, but some are already on the front lines in the war, right?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Who knows if it's going to happen in a landing operation, but that would be one.
Oh, Antonio, wow, The Fifth Element is one of our favorite movies. I don't know how many times. Exactly, I've lost count of how often we've watched them. I prefer The Fifth Element, but Pepe definitely prefers The Matrix.
They're just different.
Yeah, but if they told me to choose, like, you're going to an island. Yeah, if I could only take one movie, I'd pick The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element is the best.
No, The Matrix.
The good thing is that we'll be together, so we'll have both.
No, but if we're both going to be there,
Element, huh? The Fifth Element, I mean 1,000 times, no. This one says, Antonio, that's right. Thank you for arriving at work at the Quinta Inn Suites. Greetings, starting the day strong.
Hey, we watched a movie called Godzilla Shin. It's really crazy. It's really interesting. I don't know if anyone has seen it yet. I don't want to spoil much. I'm just going to say in general what it's about. I mean, it's the classic Godzilla, but just imagine if you watch the Chernobyl series. No, not Chernobyl, the other one, the one about Fukushima. The Fukushima series, how things are done and how political matters are handled in Japan, and how things are very bureaucratic in many ways. Japan. A lot of rules, a lot of little things. So just imagine it's from the point of view. Imagine if Godzilla were real, right? And that Godzilla is invading Japan, right? What would happen in the government? So forget about it. Godzilla almost doesn't appear in the movie. He barely appears. It's more about what's happening in the government. All the decisions, how things are, I don't know. Go tell so-and-so. Let's see, who knows. I mean, hey, wait, no, I don't know, no. Like a creature, no. I mean, all the confusion that happens during the first, or not hours, but rather from when Godzilla appears and all the political bureaucracy behind it. It's really funny. I mean, interesting, because it's kind of the way Japan is organized. It's like watching it helps you understand Japan a little more, right? And like we had seen in that Fukushima series, they explain very well how all this bureaucracy worked when Fukushima happened and when that huge earthquake occurred, tsunami and nuclear accident all together, and how so many bureaucratic issues came up. If you watch that series, it's perfectly reflected in this same movie where you see those kinds of scenarios. And it's like they mix really good effects with really bad effects on purpose, and it gives it that feeling of the old classic Godzilla. In fact, the classic sounds from the very first Godzilla movies are there. The series has effects that are almost funny, and then it has other effects that are really good. So it's a very different kind of mix. I hadn't seen it before and found it interesting.
Without Godzilla?
Without Godzilla, exactly, right? If someone wants to watch it, they say, yes, sure, why not? They say without Godzilla, but I like Godzilla -1 more.
It's really good.
-1 is really good. It's very classic. I mean, it's more of a movie.
And the effects are amazing, but here you're seeing the classic Godzilla brought back, right?
Exactly, exactly. Here it's, let's say, a different alternative creatively speaking, but of course, -1 is spectacular. Yes,
Yes, of course, Navarro. And an important note is that the scientists at CERN were able to transport antimatter in a truck. They spent a lot of resources on 92 antiprotons. The dangerous thing is that they can explode, says Navarro. I'll check. It's not like I'm very knowledgeable about science today.
I'll check. Greetings, Navarro. How are you?
Greetings to Nicaragua. It's also called Nicaragua 23, and we're working on the scenario of China's invasion of Taiwan. The landing as a beachhead would actually be carried out with drones and AI robots. That's why Taiwan has been working on defense against this in recent months, according to our sources. Greetings to Letitia and greetings from Nebraska. Beautiful night. Greetings, Letitia. What's Nebraska say? Isn't she going? They say almost atomic bombs the size of a cylinder could be launched from here. If the topic of antimatter keeps advancing, she says no, and Beto says yes. It's not the list from the movie. Contact, Jodie Foster's Contact. It's also very good. Yes, excellent. It's really good.
Really good. I haven't read the book, but they say the book is really good and that it has...
I didn't have it anymore.
No, that one no longer leads to entering the mystery. There are things in the book Contact that are supposedly messages left by this man, the author. What's his name?
Carl Sagan?
Carl Sagan, who leaves them because publicly he was kind of skeptical, or at least he seemed to be, but the reality was very different. And he leaves messages in the book Contact that they say are related to what's happening now. No.
Not from us. Just this week, Taiwan's Aroka army is preparing beach defenses to neutralize those assets. And Cebola says, Contact, I saw her and she's beautiful. And Cebola says he's not going. And going back to the topic of communication with the past, I'm done. Something like that just happened with Henry Martinez's account, where he warned as far back as 2023 about last week's attack and about Kodal. The strange thing is that Henry Martinez was a colleague of Kodalen, so he could be one of their missing scientists.
You always need to check it. This happens often.
A lot of city theories. Greetings to Diablo. When he speaks, he also mentions our grandfather of antimatter. It's not quite like that. I had to make an aeropack, the core, and the arm that grabs the uranium rods for the nuclear plant in Australia. So I know what I'm talking about. It's just that our group does something like that.
Let's see, our group. Pass it to me. I'm not sure if you have my email, but send me that info. It's interesting. And well, it's not going well, no. When you see a scientific article like these really good ones, we're always happy to analyze and discuss them. In fact, I already wrote down the one about the antimatter trucks. It's super interesting. And obviously, sometimes we miss them, right? Because there's just so much information, but we try to bring you the craziest and most interesting science stuff. And while this one in particular caught my attention because we missed it, it's really good, it's really interesting. Yes.
There's stories that don't usually make the headlines. Sometimes it's not hard to dig them up.
But we downloaded a lot. Yes, I know.
But I don't know. I didn't see it.
If not?
No. And the news for Jesus here in Nebraska is that it's still cold. Oh.
Hello, good morning. It says waking up and those are the messages. They look like negative priming, just that you can't say it directly. What is that? What is that? Waking up? No, I don't understand.
With what negative priming?
I don't know. This one says, where are you, Letitia? Waking up, our thing isn't working. Greetings to everyone, like the state.
Hello to Nobaka Adilson's father, Christina, Rosalinda Moreno, the photographer, and Daniela. How are you? And also greetings to Tapatia Jose Mendez, who says this information scares me. Greetings, Jose Mendez.
Warm greetings.
I said it was good to give them and mention that about the cash demand involving Atlantic. It was just ridiculous. And he asked for something. He wants to become a millionaire with that, right? But he'll use it. Let's have Zarate. And that's what Novak's dad says. Today is the International Day Against Bullying and School Harassment. I hope that schools take this big problem that children, schools, and parents face very seriously.
And if reality surpasses fantasy and says, well, the truth is that sometimes they do touch each other, right? Says Gisela. Greetings to Panama. How are you, Gisela?
Hello. Greetings also to Emandrad, Fidel Botello, Letty, and Justa de Zara. How are you? Also greetings to Rulo MX, Luisa Milcara Vargas. She says, Chamo, what happened? Greetings.
How have you been?
Greetings also to Blanca Barceló.
Antonio says, I don't know why I associated him with the actress from The Fifth Element. That's why I mentioned it. He says, what, Torio? How did I get confused there? I don't know. That light, Antonio, the fifth element thing is you.
Me with the actress, that'd be nice.
It's Mila.
Greetings to Dieguito. How are you, old man? If you live that life, if freedom is a feeling. Sometimes you can reach it even when locked in a cage like a bird. Camilo Jose Cela said that.
Okay.
Freedom is a feeling. Sometimes you can experience it even when caged.
Novak's dad, huge shout out. Well, about freedom. Many times there are people who are free and yet not free, right? I mean, mentally they're trapped in their problems and their own stuff. And you say, well, I mean, you have other things, right? He says, and they still don't see it. Shahud says the one I was telling you about.
No.
Yes, of course, we already saw it.
You and I already saw it.
No, we already saw it. Yes. You're not going to see yourself, really? No. No. I know which one this is. I haven't seen it. I want to see it. Yes. No. I was confusing it with the movie, the one about this painting.
Oh. Which one is it? Yes.
Yes, it's also fiction. Yes. Hey, come on.
Come on, guys. Remember that we're on WhatsApp, we're on Telegram, and we're also on Facebook, X, Instagram. On WhatsApp, you get notifications so you don't miss the latest things happening in the world.
I agree, Antonio. Go ahead. I already told him that. Yeah, I said, you look like my ex, Gila, and this Alex is even more handsome, but yeah, this one is just for greetings. Antonio, Maria, Elena, greetings. Our ball isn't going, Mercedes, huge greetings. Well, there are a lot of crazy things. And the truth is that we try to keep talking here with all of you. It's crazy. The lyrics aren't working and you're discussing the messages. This also involves The Economist with some interesting points.
Tomorrow we'll talk about the economy.
Yes, because there are several very, very interesting points, and this year in particular has been very interesting. All right, let's go. Have an excellent weekend and we'll keep talking tomorrow. See you later. We interrupt your regular programming.
Thank you for tuning in. The truth is,
This is Pepe Live.
the truth is intense, pure. The unusual is real, pure. Here we analyze it. Global focus. Don't miss out. Tune into the channel. Pepe Live, controlling the signal. Pepe and Astrid telling it like it is. Raw journalism. Respect matters here. Enable alerts. Don't lose track. Until next time. Yes, sir.
We're taking attendance.
Suscríbete.